we've listened to community concerns and we're responding. And one example of that is the graffiti abatement program, which is a program that allows the city, at city expense, to come and clean up properties that have been damaged by graffiti vandalism. And the reason is a couple-fold. The first is graffiti vandalism, is a crime, but it's also a crime where you're a victim of the crime too. And there's some instances, some people can afford to clean it up, some people can physically clean up their own graffiti problems they have in their properties, and some can't. And being sensitive to the folks that can't afford it, being sensitive to the seniors or maybe someone who's physically disadvantaged that can't clean it up, the graffiti abatement program takes a common sense approach that is using taxpayer resources to clean up our city. We're cleaning it up because graffiti affects the quality of life. It affects a business district. It affects a neighborhood because a lot of times for the wrong reason, graffiti vandalism gives the impression that people simply don't care. Well, let me tell you right now, we have neighborhoods that people do care and that maybe they just don't have the resources as the physical means to clean it up. So we created the program so that a contractor will come on your property, clean up the graffiti if you have issues with it, because it cleans up the city of Columbus, it cleans up your neighborhood so people continue to feel good about their neighborhoods. So the Lockwood Apartments on the south side was a blight on our community, and we had no choice but to just get rid of that building. To get rid of the series of buildings, there's 10 buildings, I believe, there. Community residents down there were fed up with it, and I think the story that was told to me sums up how terrible this property was. A police officer patrolling the area stopped. Hey, what are you doing down here? Hey, we're here because we're doing a press conference. We're tearing down these apartments. And his response is, thank goodness. If a police officer who's charged with patrolling the area and keeping that area safe has significant concerns about how that property elevates the level of crime in the area, because it gives the folks that you don't want in your community cover. There's 10 buildings that gave them cover to do the nefarious dealings that they're doing. Then it should be high on our priority list as a city to tear it down, and that's exactly what we're doing. The residents there are thrilled because their children are out playing in nearby lots where there are prostitutes, there are drug dealers, there are drug transactions, there's violent crime that takes place on those grounds. But what we're doing is we're tearing it down to get rid of that, to make that area safer, to make that area better, and it starts with demolishing that building. Code violations don't end when people check out of their job at 5 o'clock. Code violations occur at all hours of the day, and it's incumbent that we have code officers out there working on as many shifts as possible so that we can enforce the code. The code's there for a reason. It's there to make sure neighborhoods have safe standards, neighborhoods are clean, are strong, and that's really our focus, strong and safe neighborhoods from a city council standpoint. So working with development to ensuring that we have second shift code officers, weekend code officers that are out there patrolling the streets so that they can identify code violations and hold people accountable, because there's two standards. There's the standard where you have the caring, committed citizen and neighbor that's out taking care of their lawn, and then you have the standard where they're not on the weekends or at night. And that's not fair to the person that's really putting in the blood, sweat, and tears to make their neighborhood better. It's not fair to ensure that this person can go run amok. And that's what's been happening in some of our neighborhoods, because when code officers go off shift and we don't have any at night, we don't have any on weekends, then it really is, I don't want to call it the Wild West, but there's no one to hold anyone accountable on those off hours. By adding a second shift and a weekend shift, it provides that enforcement to ensure uniformity, to ensure a strong quality of life of neighborhoods. Columbus is an open and smart city, and I think it's one of our greatest selling points. It's just how open we are to diversity, how open we are to equality, and how open we are to tolerance. And I think when you look at the litany of legislation that's passed in this city over the past couple of years, to now passing a domestic partnership registry, it's just one other arrow in our many arrows that we have in our quiver that we use to show that we're open, we're smart, we're tolerant, and we believe in equality. And it's not just an issue of individual equality, it's also from a business perspective an important thing to do. When we're going out and marketing the city and the money that we spend and telling the story of what it means to live in the city of Columbus, to say that we're all those things, we're open, we're smart, we're tolerant, that's an attractive sell to folks that are looking to relocate, to businesses that are looking to relocate, because Columbus may not have, or Ohio may not have the best reputation, it may or may not, but the fact that we do these things in total really gives us the opportunity as one of our selling points to say that we're open and we're smart. And doing a domestic partnership registry gives that opportunity to folks that may not otherwise have the opportunity to put their committed relationship on a government document that says that we recognize them in this relationship. And that's a moment that I think the City of Columbus should be proud of.